A woman called me up who worked at Newsweek and told me about women at Newsweek and how they were employed. I was assistant legal director at the American Civil Liberties Union in New York. What she told me and what turned out to be true was that Newsweek at the time was hiring the best of the best women and employing them as researchers. They were hiring the men as reporters and the women, of course, as researchers. A two-track system, one for women and for men. It was one of those extraordinary cases a civil rights lawyer yearns for. But saying that is one thing when there have not been many lawsuits of the kind brought. In fact, I don't know of any at that time, certainly not involving an entire group of women at a great corporation. You need to meet with your clients to make sure they know what they're getting into. And I must say, it took some meetings and consciousness raising first. These women had a lot to lose. Perhaps if they stayed, they could rise in the ranks. And so it was important to foster the notion of solidarity, that no single woman should ever have to do this. But if all of us do it, then we have something real here. And so it took a number of meetings, and I insisted that when we have the press conference, we're not going to have some representatives, we're going to have everybody there. Is that all right with everybody? Wanting to make sure that if people had fears, we'd either overcome them or we wouldn't bring suit until we did. And I was working with extraordinary young women, and we had a big press conference where we laid it out. Not long afterwards, Newsweek reached out for a settlement. The rest is the history of the integration of women into the high sectors of America's signature publications.
We weren't flamethrowers, we weren't rebels, we weren't radicals. We were educated, middle-class white women. We wanted to change the system from within. When I graduated from college in 1965, half of my class got married. The rest of us got jobs, but the kinds of jobs we could get were very limited. Women at Newsweek were hired first on the mail desk, which meant they clipped newspaper articles and distributed them to the appropriate sections and editors. If you were lucky, you became a researcher, which was essentially a fact checker. Some of us actually got out and did a lot of reporting, but no one ever really got promoted out of the research category. So several of us went to visit Eleanor Holmes Norton. She took the magazine out of our hands and she opened it to the masthead, and she looked at the masthead and said, well, the fact that there are men from here to here and the fact that there are only women from here to here means that this is obviously a pattern of discrimination, so I'll take the case. And she put us through a boot camp. She kept saying, you've got to screw up your courage, girls. You've got to take off your white gloves. She said, I really had to prepare you all because you didn't know what you were getting in for. We sued on Monday, March 16th, 1970, the day that Newsweek came out with a cover story called Women in Revolt. It's not easy to file suit against your employer. We were all good girls. The way we had been brought up, the things we had been taught that were appropriate for women, we were now rejecting. We wanted to be part of Newsweek. We were proud to be part of Newsweek, but we wanted them to treat women better.